that's definitely a statement, because it is a betraying evil sociopathic monster, which is kind of what we're looking at here. It's where's your kid now? Where's your Walt now, Sheriff? And he's basically like, Disney doesn't have to do this. They just want to do it.
Just going through the meh. Imagine meh conference.
Star meh, talking about star meh, talking about star meh.
It has been a crazy morning for me as far as Imagineering goes. I just did an entire story about the progressive tilt that Imagineering has gone through in recent years that I believe we're going to discuss on the pro show today. But also Eddie Soto proposed a full redesign of the Rivers of America project that would save the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island and create a divide between Tiana's Bayou Adventure and the rest of Frontierland. And he's basically like, Disney doesn't have to do this. They just want to do it. So those are up right
that's
now.
That's the worst thing about this whole thing. Well, because you brought it up, Marvin, might as well get into it. Oh, there you go. I like that. Well, as you just heard, Marvin, right there, Disney has been talking about, paving over the river and replacing it with cars. Yay! Everybody's so excited. And we've had a number of Imagineers actually come out and say, hey, look, listen, this is a bad idea. And like you said, Marvin, Eddie Sato did propose a couple of ideas and drafts and plans and so forth to actually preserve these amazing places that we all love. However, Disney seems compelled not to do that, which is really unfortunate right here. We're instead getting this right here. Yeah, this is a model of the bumpy ATV attraction that we're supposedly getting over there at Magic Kingdom. Everybody, hope for applause, which is
the power of garbage compels us.
Yes, indeed. Now, this confirms a couple of things for us. One, we know it's not going to be trackless. There was a couple of reports out there early on that this might be a trackless vehicle. Fortunately, that's not going to be the case, because downtime would have been miserable. But that doesn't necessarily make it all that much better. So if we take a look at this, let's go ahead and play this segment from their Imagineering showcase here. I think the music, let's hold off on that, because I think the music might get us, now that I think about this for just a second. But we can see right here that the Imagineers actually took their time to do a little bit of, research trip on what an ATV actually felt like, even though they have attractions that they've done in the past that give us the impression of what an ATV feels like. That's very strange. Apparently they went out to Arizona in order to get this experience here. And this, what you're seeing on screen right now, is pretty much what's going to be replacing the Rivers of America, or at least that's what they're showing us, indeed. So, guys, how do we feel about what they've shown us? Does it fill you with confidence of what they're doing?
I'm just going to point out that if you go look up Orlando ATV tours, you can do something a lot more adventurous than this here. It's like $70 a person, but the track is going to be something much more cooler and probably actually having some level of danger to it, as opposed to this, which looking at that video of some arm being extended out, probably shot with an iPhone, is like, well, when we move it, I can't get it to move right now, but I'm going to move it with my hand. Like, it's like an unboxing video from any random YouTube channel. That's not something that I would expect from Walt Disney Imagineering. Also, one of the Imagineers in this video is one that I have a big question about his levels of taste. It's not that one. He was involved in a project where they fixed Fort Wilderness and they fixed a bunch of hotels to make them look a little cooler, a little bit more modern, talking about how tacky those hotels were. So maybe he didn't use the word tacky, but he worked on projects to fix all of this classic Disney stuff. So when I see the Rivers of America going away for this, which is something that you can do in almost every place in the United States, I'm not impressed with this. And it's a lack of taste and and the people that are involved in running it, or at least the people who are getting out front and bragging about it, I really am not impressed, and I have no hope for this project in any way. Like, if I want to go ride an ATV, I'll go ride an ATV. I don't understand how doing one on a track where the thing it bounces back and forth. I don't get the magic there at all.
Magic.
Well, I think one of the big things to point out in this video is right at the beginning, you saw the Imagineers sitting at the table, and one of them was drinking out of a Lotso Huggin' Bear mug, which I think is, that's definitely a statement, because it is a betraying, evil, sociopathic monster, which is kind of what we're looking at here.
That's good.
A good
observation.
If I can put my tinfoil hat on for a moment, it's a message. It's where's your kid now? Where's your Walt now, Sheriff?
It smells like strawberries.
Oh man, this is real bad here. And here's the thing. Obviously, the track that they're going to be adding to Magic Kingdom in replace of Rivers of America is going to be more substantial than the dirt track kind of course that they've laid out for themselves.
I doubt
it. They show mountains and they show things that we might get, so I don't know. I mean, at least the problem is they're not showing us any of that.
They showed a lot of stuff for Epcot too.
On occasion, it's going to lean to the right. On occasion, it may also lean to the left. This is very important for the ride.
Can
process.
I just want to say, you can get, for a week's vacation cost at Disney World, if you're staying on property, let's say you had an extra $7 to $10,000, right? Because that's, what you're going to have to hack up if that's what you want to do. You could go to Hawaii on the beautiful island of Kauai and take a mud bug tour for your entire family for just a few $100s and see, the beautiful scenery where Jurassic Park was filmed and other things like that, and just get all muddy and dirty and just have quite an adventure and a picnic lunch right in the middle, little swimming in the local waterfall pond area. And
but can you do it with Cars characters though? See, that's the thing. The amazing brand culture.
I'm going to tell you right now, I can get a vinyl, like, what do you call them, a vinyl wrap, and like just put my own on my mud bug. I think it would have a good time. And I get to drive the mud bug, which is another bueno, right? Mud bugs are basically just, open bottom, open everything, kind of little mini dune buggies that are similar to what this gator is that they're showing us here.
Do we think it's going to be actual dirt, by the way, or
no,
it'll be synthetic?
There's no way it can't be.
It'll be real, actual concrete. Actually, Jonas.
Yeah,
it'd be cement to look like dirt, and then maintain to like it going forward. Probably.
Yeah. Is there any dirt on the actual Kilimanjaro safari? Which this is what this reminds me of Kilimanjaro without any sense of wonder whatsoever, and a little bit bumpier. This to me is not. Okay, there may be some animatronics on the side of the track or whatever.
Right.
Well,
the fake rock work might be something. I don't know. I'm trying to be slightly optimistic here on describing.
Why?
It. But this Kilimanjaro, is that completely synthetic as you go through it? Or
well, I mean, you mean with the real trees? They love the cement. No, there's areas where you have dirt, but there's no areas where there's actually dirt. I mean, you have like the mountain itself is cement. They're just like with what's the fake mountain in Disneyland again? It's just been there forever.
Matterhorn?
Yeah. That has plenty of dirt against the cement, so you can grow things. So, but if you mean actual dirt, no, I don't anticipate real dirt. It's going to be very poorly maintained cement for the rest of its existence. It'll look great for a while, and then Disney, because they don't do maintenance anymore, well, it'll look pretty junky, and and then they'll end up having to paint it, and then the paint's not going to match. It's going to look terrible. I'm glad they really haven't had to do too much with the real Cars Land, which is in California. And just to remind everybody, you could have had an actual Cars Land with your Galaxy's Edge, with your Toy Story area / Pixar area, in a much better design and a much better way than we ended up with, because Kathleen Kennedy got involved with the project that screwed up the area where you were going to have the ability to have an actual Cars Land, Radiator Springs. So now you're getting discount Radiator Springs at the cost of something that's much more, immersive. This thing is going to be the biggest eyesore on the planet, and it's going to sound terrible in an area where serenity used to exist. So I don't know how the Haunted Mansion survives this. It's going to be the worst transition ever. And yeah,
I mean, in
look
their
at the queue.
concept art,
Yeah.
they show that the Liberty Bell dock survives this for some reason, even though there's nothing to dock. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what they're gonna do. This is such a bad idea. This is really ill-conceived. Go ahead.
I would put money on the fact that those mountains don't actually materialize.
They can't.
Yeah.
First of all, it's an eyesore. You would be able to see that from the 3 areas where you shouldn't. This is just going to be stupid.
Well, shouldn't this be reversed, by the way? Shouldn't the mountain be on the far side? And then smaller structures nearest the town of Frontierland, right? In order to take you back into those areas or provide.
Well,
go ahead.
They've also lost their ability to understand forced perspective. If we talk about the Haunted Mansion gift shop,
Correct,
that is ruining the forced perspective of Tiana's Bayou Adventure to its right and the Haunted Mansion to its left. It's there and it throws everything off because they wanted a gift shop there. When they talk about something like this, and I look at, oh, there's smoke coming out of that teepee or whatever it is there, or a mountain that is right next to New Orleans Square there on or whatever you want to call that thoroughfare over there. These are things that will not actually happen when it comes down to it. They are not actually considering the areas around it, I'm sure. And if they're getting rid of all of this water and beauty to put this in there, I have no faith that they're going to do this right in any way whatsoever, especially with the people that we're seeing involved in it that think that it's hilarious to me that the people who are calling the Polynesian and the cabins at Fort Wilderness Lodge or at Fort Wilderness Tacky are the ones that are in charge of putting a cars ride over the rivers of America.
All I know is the bigger disappointment for me is that you won't actually get to pilot your 4 quad, whatever the heck this is.
No
well,
way.
that is part of the adventure, right? You are the one guiding that experience as opposed to just riding it.
I don't
wait.
think that's true.
So if you were the one controlling the car is supposedly a living sentient being in this universe. So does that mean that like you're given like it's like the Imperious curse from Harry Potter? Like you're just like you're controlling the sentient being against its will?
Speaking of
I feel like that's what's happening to Rivers of America. I don't have any will for this, and yet it's being forced upon me. Again, we can complain about it all day long. Apparently, according to Eddie Soto himself, this is a done deal. So
done deal.
Vash, I'm sending you in the private chat. I'm giving you the link to our article on the Eddie Soto thing because we have his full artwork,
his full concept
of what he wanted to do, and it's so much better.
Yeah, it is so much better. Let's go ahead and review just a little bit because we have one more segment to go here. Let's see. I love showcasing Marvin's work right here. The Spy. Well, Marvin there himself. Former Imagineer proposes alternate plan to save Rivers of America, proves Disney could have it all without destroying Tom Sawyer's Island. If we go down here, we can actually see. Yeah, I think this was expanded upon by Jim Shaw as well. Looks like. Let me see if I can make this larger for everybody here. You can see how, yes, it provides this kind of body of water distinct between Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Big Thunder. So it kind of, I don't know, it almost replicates a little bit of what Disneyland Paris did, which I think is fascinating. It also preserves just a little bit, at least, of Tom Sawyer's Island, has a pathway in order to get back to Villain's Land and provides a place for cars as well if you want to go ahead and include that. Separates it out from the Haunted Mansion and has those bodies of water with the Liberty Bell pathway train and so forth. So this is a pretty ambitious thing right here, and it's well within Disney's capabilities. Why they haven't fought for this specific item, I can only assume
because they don't want to. They don't they don't want the rivers of America to exist. They don't want
Yep.
Tom Sawyer Island to exist. They don't want Mark Twain representation in the parks. They don't want anything about the founding of America because America bad.
That's exactly it. There's no reason why you shouldn't pursue this. But hey, look, if you're more interested in maybe ROI, right? You gotta have your big e-tickets in order to produce Lightning Lane, while also reducing how much maintenance that you actually apply to these attractions. Which, the rivers has a maintenance cost, Liberty Bell has a maintenance cost. Let's go ahead and do away with those things. Let's get our Cars attraction in here. Let's keep capacity the same. That way we sell more Lightning Lane. And there you go. We have it all, at least on the spreadsheet. And that's really, really, really sad.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.